Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for Northern Ag TV. Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins announced the Small Family Farms Policy Agenda as part of the Make Agriculture Great Again initiative. This is the first set of policy proposals under the initiative that aims to improve the viability in smaller scale family farms. The list of actions includes ensuring and enhancing several things, from credit and farmland to markets and risk management. According to the Ag Department's Economic Research Service, more than 1.6 million farmers fall into the category of small farms, accounting for 86% of the country's farms, operating on 41% of the country's farm acreage, and generating 24% of the country's overall farm production. And last week, we expected to see a new USDA reorganization plan in terms of the recent staff cuts at offices throughout the U.S. Rollins has reported that the USDA has a plan ready, but that the department got caught up in litigation over it, but should still be announcing it soon. Lastly, the department stated in a handout that it should disincentivize the use of federal funding for solar panels to be installed on working farmlands. Now for the less encouraging news, USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey expects below average precipitation and above average temperatures in the upcoming months. Based on the latest outlook from the National Weather Service, Rippey says that by the end of May, we'll see a ridge developing across the western half of the country, which is the expectation for June as well, which is below normal precipitation in much of the western half of the country and possibly into the high plains. With that being said, winter wheat crop progress categories remain ahead of the average schedule.
We had been running quite a bit ahead, and as a result, winter wheat heading progress stays ahead of average. 64% of the crop headed on May 18th. 5-year average 58%, a little behind last year's 67%. Top producer Kansas coming in this week, 84% headed, staying ahead of the 5-year average of 71%. Currently rated 52% good to excellent. That is down 2 points from last week. No change in the very poor to poor ratings, steady at 18%. This year's crop rated just slightly higher overall than last year at this time, when we were sitting at 49% good to excellent.
Also along the lines of winter wheat, be on the lookout for physiological and fungal leaf spots. PLS on the winter wheat variety Bobcat are being observed, and FLS are showing up in wheat-on-wheat and no-till systems in high moisture. Nonetheless, Bobcat does continue to perform well even in the presence of PLS. We'll be back with the markets after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Thanks for joining us back for the markets. Traders had a more cautious day on Tuesday. Cash cattle trade last week was $1 to $2 higher, supporting the futures Monday, and with packers having some supply committed to them, the expectation is that prices will trade at least steady this week. What could affect the market more is that packers have been buying cattle for later delivery. Also in terms of fundamentals, the boxed beef market remains strong, with choice cuts making a huge jump on Tuesday, up $5.63 at $360.44. The cattle on feed report will be released this Friday, which might hold some pressure on traders as well. And turning to our local auction, there was good demand for pairs at the Headwaters livestock auction. Heifer pairs sold for $3,900, 4 to 5-year-olds at $3,700 to $4,075, and 5 to 6-year-old pairs at $3,200 to $3,700. Now on the grain side of things, an extremely positive day for the wheat complex. Two big things supporting traders right now. The U.S. crop condition ratings dropped unexpectedly on Monday from 54 to 52% good to excellent, and stripe rust was found in Kansas wheat during last week's crop tour. Also adding support is the new heat wave in parts of China that threatens wheat crop already suffering from moisture shortages. That's it for today's Northern Ag TV. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.